Welcome back to Painted Valley Designs YouTube channel, where we will be showing you tutorials as well as an exclusive look into our glitter collections. You can find the glitters used in these videos at www.paintedvalleydesigns.com. In today's video, we're going to be doing another tie-dye tumbler. This time we're going to be using colored glitter instead of a white glitter with alcohol inks like the previous video. So I'm going to be using Lime Iris, Goldilocks, Blue Iris, Purple, Pink Iris, and an Orange Iris that is discontinued with Painted Valley Designs. All of these colors are iridescents except for the purple. It is a metallic. So I start off with my Mod Podge and a fan brush, probably about a medium size, what I would say. And I go in pretty heavily with my Mod Podge and I just start creating that initial circular design for the tie-dye, and I fan back and forth. I don't make it a straight line because like tie-dye, you know, it bleeds into one another. So I go in pretty heavily with that and I just keep fanning it in and around with that brush, and then I'll do like a partial circle and then go in with my color. It's hard to see the Mod Podge how I'm putting it on because the white background with the white Mod Podge, but as I go in here and start putting the color on, you can see the kind of pattern that I was going through. The great thing about using the iridescent colors is that they're more of a see-through glitter, so as you apply the different colors on top of each other, it gives it that color bleed effect like tie-dye should have. Next, I'm going to go in with Goldilocks, which is a yellow iridescent that we have. And I go in with that one. And as you can see, as I'm going through this, I kind of overlap onto the previous color that I did just a little bit, just like I said before, just to give it that color bleed effect that tie-dye should have. And again, as I'm going through this, I don't Mod Podge the entire trail that the yellow will be on. I just do little bits at a time. And I highly suggest waiting for the last color to dry before you continue to the next one. That way when you shake off the color, it doesn't stick into the previous color that you did. And the next color that we go into is Lime Iris, another Painted Valley Designs iridescent. And again, this video is pretty repetitive except for the colors. You just go in and start fanning it around with your brush and make sure you overlap that previous color so that you get that color bleed. And this yellow is pretty light looking on here. The finished product, you can definitely see the yellow. It's not as light as it looks here in this video. Next, after lime iris, we have blue iris. And again, just go in that circular motion, fanning out, overlapping your previous color, and just go around in the circle until you get all the way to the end. And next up we are going to use purple, and this one is different because it is a metallic, it is not an iridescent, so it doesn't show the color bleed like all the rest of them do, but as you lay it on top of the other ones it still, you know, overlaps. It just doesn't have that, it doesn't change the color of the purple any. And finally, we're going to add in the pink iris. And on this little tiny peak here, you can see at the very little spot that I have left, I wasn't quite sure what color to go in there with, but I finally settled on purple. I maybe should have just thrown the pink down a little bit farther or threw in yellow there, but I decided to go ahead and go with purple. And on the back of this cup, like you've already seen, I just went back in and started over with my colors, only in reverse order this time. And now that we're halfway through the video, I'm going to just go ahead and apologize for my awful videographer skills. I need to work on keeping my cup in the frame so you guys can see how I'm working on it. I actually started a cup the other day and completely forgot to even record what I was doing, so I ended up having to whip up another one just using different colors. And here she is with all of her glitter on her, getting the first layer of epoxy put on. Ignore my awful gloves. I ran out of my other ones and this was all that I had, and I'm super impatient and was not about to wait for my other ones to get here. So I just went in, and before I did start the epoxy on this, with any cup that I use more than one color of glitter or type of glitter, I spray it with clear spray paint just to seal those colors in so that they don't mix. And at this point, this is my second layer of epoxy. My first layer I always do pretty thin, and so before doing any vinyls or anything, I like to do a thin to medium layer of epoxy before I put my vinyls or stickers on, just so that they're not bumpy once I put them on. And now I'm going in with the final layer of epoxy. This water slide says Peace, Love, Messy Bun on it. It's for a friend of mine, and she always has her hair in a messy bun, so I figured it was perfect. I also did a quick peace sign in some mint colored vinyl. And yes, I know that that is a whole lot of epoxy. I was also working on a table for a friend, so I just mixed up a lot of epoxy, and once I was done with this cup, I just threw it on that table. So like always, I just go around, and this layer will be a thicker layer because it is my final one. So I go ahead and just put that on, kind of scrape it down, and then I go back in again actually while it's still wet and put a little bit more on just to get it thicker. And here is the final look. I will drop the link below for this Peace, Love, and Messy Buns graphic that I got off of Etsy. Did a little peace sign on the bottom instead of the tie-dye look. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and turn on that bell notification to be alerted when we post videos. We'll hopefully be posting tutorials every week. Thanks for tuning in.